Casper Tigers 0, Hull KR 48, and another cruise control win for Willie Peters' men. I mean, yeah, hopes were high, weren't they, at the jungle for the Tigers, having beaten Hull FC last week at the MKM. But speaking of Cats, I mean, this was like, Tom finally being able to play with Jerry before putting him on toast. They were that good, wasn't they? The Robins in this one. They're a superb rugby league side. And the thing is, they weren't even at their sparkling best if you get into the detail. They only completed at 68%. They did 35 missed tackles, but they still kept the Tigers to 0. They ploughed another 48 points onto the plus column. It was absolutely superb. They had everything going for them in this game, KR. Heart and desire, no more so than when they actually made mistakes. I mean, it was such an easy win, this, for Hull KR, but on 38 minutes, Jez Litton knocks on and he pounds the grass in frustration. Mikey Lewis did the same in the second half. They're absolutely cruising, but the standards are that high at the moment at the Robins that, even when they're winning a game as comfortably as this, they are absolutely filthy with themselves when they make an error. And that, for me, is setting them apart. They really are in the groove at this moment in time. There's a lot of people saying, can they sustain this incredible run from now until the end of the season? Time will tell, but what we know at this moment in time is that Hull KR are the real deal. They are a splendid, splendid team. And again, you talk about heart and you talk about desire. Beautiful run from Innes Senior on the left-hand side of the Tigers. Best moment of the game from them. Of course, he passes through Zach Sinney, who I felt had another great game for the Tigers, by the way. I think Zach Sinney at fullback the last 2 weeks has been very, very good indeed. Of course, he fumbled the ball. And why? Because Jack Broadbent, defended like his life depended on it again in a game that they were cruising in. The attitude of this team is simply superb. They are a quality outfit. I don't know what it is. There's a lot of people that are not showing for me the level of respect that he's deserved by KR. There's a lot of reasons for that. But all I would say is, take all of the noise away, whether you like the supporters at KR or not, whether you like, the Robins or not, if you've got a rivalry against them or not, it doesn't really matter. Just strip all that away and look at the quality of the rugby league football that they're producing. This is a splendid, splendid side. I love watching them. This is rugby league football of the highest order. I mean, it ain't own brand, is it? I mean, this is, I'm not being funny. There's McDonald's and then there's Michelin Star. This is Michelin Star. It's that good. Gordon Ramsay's sweating. KR could overtake his stars at this rate. He's that good. They really are that good. We've got to pay them homage. They are superb. Will they go on and win the league leaders? Possibly now with what happened at Wakefield. Will they go on and win the grand final? Well, it's too early to tell, because what we do know is that, the likes of the Wigan Warriors that are still there, on the coattails, on the day, who knows? Who knows? But at this moment in time, they have to be considered the favourites, and rightly so. I've already given a shout out to Zach Sinney. I thought he was superb for the Casper Tigers. He had a really, really good game in this one. George Lawler had a good game, 38 tackles indeed, only missed one all game. Again, Lawler doing really well this year in a Casper Tigers shirt, but all in all, they were well beat. I mean, there were so many great efforts from the Robins. I mean, Petter Hickey, he's not in my top 3, but he got a try, he got an assist, 133 metres from 12 carries. What more do you want? Petter Hickey, again, in superb form. Dean Hadley started in pro with Whitbread at second row. That was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it? But Dean Hadley, 17 carries, 141 metres down the middle, 37 tackles indeed, missed 2 in the game. He had a very special game. Kalebi Tanganoa, 18 carries, 195 metres. Remember, he got an assist on the day. Again, not me 1, 2, 3, but again, a really good performance. Arthur Morgan, try and assist, 139 metres from 19. Noah Booth, who I think has been brilliant in the absence of Budgie. I have to say, it's heartbreaking to think that he might lose his place when Burgess comes back. But, again, if you just look at what this lad is producing, he doesn't deserve to lose his place. He's doing a fantastic job on the wing. Again, some wonderful moments from Noah Booth. I mean, again, that left edge, it was Broadbent and Booth. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The future's bright there, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. Well, let's get into the 3-2-1. 1 point I've got to give to Mikey. Yes, he wasn't on the score sheet in terms of a try, but he set 2 up on the day, 23 tackles. The only thing with Mikey is he's got to cut out this petulance. It's a bad look. It really is a bad look. He was great again, but he doesn't need to go there. I mean, this laughing in people's faces, it does detract from what is a wonderful rugby league player. He's got to rein that in. Of course, he's still young, but he's got to rein that in. I would urge Willie Peters, look, I don't mind a little bit of arrogance. I don't mind, but no, it's a terrible look, and it's again detracting from what a great player he is. Everybody wants him playing for England. Sean Wayne doesn't like that type of stuff. He needs to just rein that in a little bit. But 2 brilliant assists on the day, 7 attacking kicks, 15 kicks in general play. Mikey Lewis's kicking game has really come on in 2025, which is, again, moving more towards a complete halfback. That was a bit of an Achilles heel for him, wasn't it, last year? He's still got the Man of Steel, of course, but it's an area of the game that he's really working on, and he's doing very well indeed. He got a clean break, he got a bust. 20 times he had his hand on the ball, 162 metres. Mikey, again, superb. 2 points I'm going to give to Tom Davies. I think Tom Davies on the wing, it's not just his tries. He got 2 tries, he got an assist, but it's his work rate. 24 carries for 241 metres. He averaged 10 metres of carries in this, metres of carry, 4 clean breaks, 3 tackle busts. Tom Davies, he's really playing superb rugby league for KR on the right, and this is why they brought him in. Champion player. He's won a grand final, of course, with the Wigan Warriors. You know, this guy knows what it's all about. I thought he was outstanding on the night and fully deserving. His work out of backfield was absolutely incredible. Put a right shift in for the team and got the final product as well on 3 occasions. 2 tries, 1 assist. Great performance. And 3 points has to go to Jack the lad, Jack Broadbent. I mean, what a player Jack Broadbent is turning into. He really, really is. Yes, he got 2 tries. Yes, he got 2 assists. But that tackle on Sinnott, everything about Jack Broadbent's performance in this was real quality. I mean, he's so versatile. He's playing in loads of different positions. And this might surprise some, but if he carries on playing like this between now and the end of the season, he's probably going to be, I mean, he'll probably be overlooked for the dream team. I mean, we've seen previous seasons, like Callum Watkins getting in when, I can't remember who missed out that year. It might have been Lafayette or McDonald, I can't remember. And you're thinking, how's Callum Watkins got in that team? They do make some bizarre dream team picks, and that for me makes me fearful for Broadbent, because he's not at this moment in time, dare I say, as fancy as other names that play in that position. But Jack Broadbent at the moment, again, his versatility might count against him as well, because he's a bit all over the place. But hey, that doesn't stop them on the team of the week putting players wherever they want, does it? So anyway, but yeah, I digress. Broadbent for me is in great form, really great form. No matter where Willie Peters is putting him, he's playing 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. This was a 10 out of 10 performance for me. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. 16 carries, 118 metres, 2 clean breaks on the night. He was superb. Absolutely the man of the match. He just keeps on getting the points, doesn't he, Jack? I think he's a great rugby league player. Hull KR, unbelievable. Five times now they've kept teams to nil in the 2025 Super League. They must be going for some sort of record. Who can stop Hull KR? That is the ultimate question. Anyway, we now will be moving across to the totally wicked stadium where the Saints took on Leeds Rhinos. Saints 18, Leeds Rhinos 4 in a game that nobody gave Saints a chance of winning, and they did. As for the Leeds Rhinos, we've been giving their defence so much plaudits over the course of this season. 42 mixed tackles in this one. Quite frankly, it was as useless as rubber lips on a woodpecker. They were shocking with the Leeds Rhinos. Far too many errors. Brett Arthur said at the end of the game, perhaps they think that they're better than they are. This is a real wake-up call for them as they go into the latter part of the season. But let's take nothing away from the Saints. They went into this doing it tough. Of course, some key personnel missing for them, but let's not talk about the people who are missing. Let's talk about the people who are playing. Superb kids on the field. For Wakefield in second row, didn't let anybody down. I thought Dagnall on the wing, very, very good. Sailor back to fullback, had an absolutely gem of a game. There were so many good performances from the Saints. Love the fact that they took 2 early conversions, just getting themselves ahead of Leeds Rhinos, getting in the heads of the Leeds Rhinos early doors. And at the end, I thought that really just kept them at bay throughout the game. It's a great bit of tactic. Paul Wellens knew it was about get the scoreboard ticking over, give belief and confidence to his team, and they just went from there. On the half-hour mark, Ryan Hall with the interception. If we go back 5 years, he's going in the corner, but this is Ryan Hall 2025. He's lost a yard of pace, and Harry Robertson comes from nowhere to nail him. That could have, don't get me wrong, played a game without doubt, but man of the match, Harry Robertson, for that one thing. Come on, behave yourself, Sky. If you want to speak to him, get him on the bench. Don't give somebody a man of the match performance because we just want to talk to him. Behave yourselves. Never the man of the match in a million years. He's not even in my 3-2-1. But don't get me wrong, playing the game, absolute play of the game. It was a wonderful, wonderful play that from Harry Robertson. And of course, then just on half time, Saints Get a try with Dion. Go on, Mr. Cross. You know it makes sense. Beautiful from the Salford player that's, of course, now in the Vedv. Beautiful line from Dion Cross. He's such a quality player, isn't he? He's really shored up the left edge of the Saints without doubt. He's a great player, Dion Cross. In he goes, in for an 8-0 lead. Of course, they couldn't do the conversion. Then it's all about, well, what's going to happen in the second half? Where are we going in the second half? And of course, Riley Lum, beautiful play. I mean, I have to say, Tristan Saylor for both his assists. Some wonderful hands from Saylor. Beautiful hands. But we'll come back to Saylor in a minute. In terms of the Riley Lum try, he's 10th for the season for the Leeds Rhinos, and that was really well executed. Lockie Miller doing what he does, going off that little jinking run. Fantastic stuff. Finds himself out to left-hand side, and Lum goes in for 10 for the season. Great play, Riley Lum. Again, another kid. Isn't the future bright in Super League? And then, of course, at this point now, you're thinking, right, it's 8 points to 4. What's going to happen from here? Not a problem whatsoever. Owen Dagnall, take a bouncer. In he goes in the corner again. Some wonderful, wonderful hands from Tristan Saylor on that left edge. And, of course, finds it to Dagnall, who goes in. And Saints now a little bit more comfortable before Tristan himself finished off the scoring 18 points to 4 to the Saints. This is a brilliant win for St. Helens. Make no bones about it. They were given no chance, absolutely no chance of winning this game. Everybody felt it was there for the Leeds Rhinos. They're just 2 points behind the Leeds Rhinos now, cemented in 5th position, of course, with Wakefield in 6th. A brilliant win, this, for the Saints. They will be delighted, and rightly so, with what they produced at the totally wicked stadium against a really good side in the Leeds Rhinos. Leeds have been playing some wonderful, wonderful rugby league, but quite frankly, there was too many errors on the night. They didn't respect the ball as much as they should have done, and in the end, it told. And Saints, well, like I say, you don't need world beaters all the time on the field. You need a team that are playing together collectively, and that's exactly what Saints produced on the night. They, of course, have got Salford again next week, so that's going to be another 2 points you would expect for them. And then they go up against FC, who are in a round, and before taking on Leeds again on the 11th of July. So 3 games there that I think Saints will be feeling, do you know what? Off the back of that game against Leeds, they've got a chance. They love playing Leeds, Saints. They love playing Leeds. The records show that they have got the hoodoo over the Rhinos. They will not mind going to Headingley in round number 18, taking on them. And then there's a real belter coming in round number 19 when they go, Leigh Leopards come to town, taking on the Saints. As for Leeds Rhinos, they will want to bounce back. Of course, they'll want to bounce back. And they've got the Leigh Leopards next week at Headingley. That's a real tough one before going to Craven Park, taking on Hull KR, and then that return game against the Saints. So 3 really difficult games coming up for the Leeds Rhinos, and they will want to be much improved when they go into them, albeit, of course, they are currently, in 4th spot in the league. I'm looking, like I say, as a real good quality playoff side, but this was not their best night at the office. Let's be crystal clear on that. Let's give some shout out to the Saints players. I thought, there's a lot of really good performances on the field. I've already mentioned Dagnall. He took his try, but I thought Dion Cross was very good indeed on the night as well. Wingfield didn't let anybody down. 37 tackles indeed from Wingfield in second row. I thought he was decent. Whitley got 40 on the other side. Again, good effort in second row from those two. But yeah, let's get into the 3-2-1. 1 point I'm going to give to Morgan Knowles. They're really going to miss Morgan Knowles. Knowles' defence, 47 tackles in this one. He was honestly, the amount of work he got through in defence was simply superb. So I've got to go there. 1 point to Morgan Knowles. 2 points I'm going to give to Moses Mbai. And that might surprise some people, but Moses Mbai's kicking game, I felt, was exceptional. 21 kicks in general play from Mbai. He got 8 attacking kicks in there, especially the first period. He was really, guiding Saints around the field, putting him in good field position, putting Leeds right back on the haunches. I thought Moses Mbai was drafted in, of course, due to George Whitby being out. I didn't think he let anybody down. He comes in for a lot of criticism from certain quarters as Moses Mbai, but he played really well in this game. If you don't believe me, go back, watch the full 80 minutes again, and just do a player watch on Mbai. You'll see why I'm giving him 2 points in this. And the 3 points, well, it's a man of the match on the line. Tristan Saylor. Everybody has been questioning Tristan Saylor all year. He's been moved around into 3 different positions. He was put out on the wing to get himself some confidence, and then Wellesby goes out, and everybody said, well, who are they going to put at fullback? Is it Robertson? Is it Benison? No, it was Saylor. We learned nothing about Saylor against Salford. It was always going to be a test of his character this game against good opposition in the Leeds Rhinos, and he delivered, absolutely delivered. He was brilliant on the night. Great try, 2 wonderful assists. His hands, absolutely sensational. The one for Dion Cross, I mean, I think he glanced his hands. It was a wonderful piece of skill. Catch and pass is a wonderful skill in the game of rugby league, and he executed that on 2 occasions in this game really well. He got 8 tackle busts in the game as well, 21 carries for 173 metres. Tristan, my boy, you were exceptional. It was a scandal, a travesty that you didn't get the Sky Man of the match, but we've given it here at Super League Raw. We hope that you've enjoyed that. We now go to the DIY Kitchen Stadium where Wakefield were hosting Wigan. Wakefield Trinity 16, Wigan Warriors 10 up the trick, you little beauty. Oh, they did what Huddersfield couldn't do the week before. They dominated the Warriors in the first half. I mean, everybody going on about the Wigan. Forget Wigan. This is all about Wakefield Trinity. Let's give credit where credit is due. They were simply superb. This is why they're in the hunt for playoff positions. Nobody wants to play the Trin. They've still got a load of players to come back. They are everybody's guilty pleasure. And as for Darryl Powell, he must feel like he's Santa Claus. He's getting that many Christmas cards from Craven Park. It's unbelievable. He's even growing a white beard for the occasion. Unbelievable, this from Wakefield Trinity. They were superb, absolutely superb. They're everybody's guilty pleasure. No doubt about that whatsoever. You know, they're not your normal chalk ice. They're a Magnum, aren't they? You know, double crunch. Oh, yes. Beautiful on a hot summer's day, this, for anybody who loves the great game of rugby league. I mean, the first try from Caius Fahitelli. I mean, what a player this guy is. I mean, it was like being on the London Underground. You could hear it. You know, mind the gap, mind the gap. No, I'll just go through the gap. It was shocking defence from the Wigan Warriors, that. I mean, it really was. Luke Thompson back. He'll want his time again. And then Leigh with that lovely little ball for the Josh Griffin try. Oh, yeah. I mean, they were really in Disneyland, weren't they, at that moment in time? Unbelievable. You know, there's no doubt Matt Peake was a bit goofy at half-time. He wasn't very happy at all, was he? But, yeah, again, there you go. Wigan, just like they did at Huddersfield. They were well beaten for me in the first half, but they struck back after 4 minutes. Adam Kieran, great little bit of play that from the Wigan Warriors, and you're thinking, here we go, it's Dewsbury all over again. Wigan are going to do it in the second half, aren't they? But you've got to give again credit to Wakefield Trinity. They stayed calm, they stayed collected. I mean, I've not seen so much, you know, coolness since I took my last cucumber out of the fridge. Unbelievable stuff, this, from the Trin. I mean, they really did just say, no, that's fine, we'll just settle down. We will be okay. And they were okay, because, again, everything went through Lino. Everything went through Lino. I understand why Sky gave him the man of the match. I really do. You know, some wonderful ball handling skills, some great kicks throughout the game. And again, he found the ball to Truman, and the Truman pass to Tom Johnstone on the left edge was a thing of absolute precision and beauty. It really was. Superb play from Wakey. And now you're thinking, right, they could do this. They could absolutely do it. And at no point from that point on did I feel as though Wigan were going to snatch the game. They just grounded out Wakefield. They're a really good quality team at Wakefield Trinity. A lot of people will be very worried about playing Trin in the next few weeks, without doubt. I mean, don't get me wrong, the completion rate wasn't great. You know, it wasn't like their performance was completely squeaky clean. They missed 29 tackles in the game, so they gave Wigan opportunities, but their line speed at times was superb. Their attention to detail in defence was fantastic. They're really trusting each other in D, and it's showing. And yeah, like I say, why not celebrate Wake? I'm not interested in Wigan. I'm not interested. This isn't about Wigan Warriors. This is about Wakefield Trinity. That's what it's about. A great story. Everybody's guilty pleasure. Probably everybody's second team this season outside of Castleford. I mean, incredible performance. Darryl Powell's done a great job down there, and they're deserving of an opportunity of the playoffs. They really have been superb entertainment all season. And like, again, you go into this, you think, hang on, you know, down the middle, Wigan have got likes of Thompson back, no McMeekin, of course, who's going to be out for a few weeks. And you think, they might struggle here, Wake. Not a bit of it. You know, they outrun the Wigan Warriors by over 200 metres. They got more post-contact metres than the Wigan Warriors. They were absolutely different class on both sides of the ball. And that's what you've got to be. Don't get me wrong, you've got to be that good when you come up against Wigan. But let's forget Wigan. Forget Wigan. This is about Wakefield Trinity. Absolutely different class. The best partner play on the day for Wigan. Again, the Bevan French chip over the top for Field. They've done that a few times. It was a wonderful try, that, from Jai Field. That takes him to 17 now for the season. He's in great form. But like I say, that really, for me, at least he gave their fans something to go away with. If there was that many in the stadium, of course, at 79 minutes, they might have been walking on by then. But that's by the by. It was a great try, that, from Jai Field. But like I say, even Wigan have got to concede. This is about Wakefield Trinity. It's all about Wakefield. If you actually get into the detail of the stats, Wigan weren't off. Wigan were not off, and that's what upsets me. People think, oh, Wigan were off. Look, by their high standards, possibly, but let's give Wakey some credit. Come on, outstanding. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Right, let's get into the three. I mean, like I said, there was so many good performances, wasn't there? So many good performances. John Stone again took his try well, did the meters 164 on the day. Jowett again, very, very good in his all-round play. I thought he was really, really good. Jay Pitcher again, 41 tackles in defence. He was colossal for Trim. But this is the 3-2. 1 point I'm going to give to Josh Griffin. A try, 33 tackles in D, 13 carries for 103 metres, 4 tackle busts on the day. I thought Griffin on that left-hand side in second row, very, very good indeed. 2 points I'm going to give to Mason Leigh. He's not my man of the match. I thought he was great, though, don't get me wrong. Good assist in the game. His kicking game was on point. Everything went through him. He was picking the right passes. He's a quality rugby league player. He's playing really well. But I've got to give it to Fiatilli. And the reason I'm giving it to Fiatilli is, Noel McMeekin. So they had so much pressure on him going into this game. You look at how stacked the pack was, the front row of the Wigan Warriors were, you've got Dupree there, you've got Thompson back, of course, you've got Havard there, you've got Mago there. You needed a big performance from Kais. He's just won the player of the month. And what does he deliver? First of all, he delivers the first score that set the platform for Wakefield to build on. His defensive effort, 30 tackles in D. Absolutely different class. Really good in defence. 14 carries for 136 metres. He carried the ball for an average of 10 metres a carry. He really was, on the day, the person that Wakefield went to time and time again to get him downfield. Great try. He led from the front. That's why when you're coming up against Wigan, you need your middle unit to go toe-to-toe. And he really did lay that platform. That's why he gets my man of the match. And that allowed Lino and Truman the time, the space to do what they did. But all too often, we concentrate on that. What gives them the space? What gives them the time? It's the hard effort of the forwards. And that's why, for me, Fiatilli is the man of the match. Do you agree with that? Do you not? Do you believe that Wakefield deserve far more credit than they're getting because too many people are bothered about how poor the Pies played on this particular occasion? All I know is Wakey Trinity are playing some wonderful rugby league. I'm enjoying watching them. I'm sure you are too, as we now go to the Halliwell Jones Stadium, where Huddersfield Giants were taking on Warrington. Warrington Wolves 16, Huddersfield Giants 24, B5, boom. I smell the blood of an English Sam. Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. The Warrington Wolves fans are coming out now. They want Burgess gone. They're absolutely in meltdown. The rest of the league is laughing. It's not their year yet again. Absolutely not. They are not going to get into the playoffs. I just can't see it. I mean, really can't see Warrington Wolves now getting into the playoffs 2025. It's been a shocking season for the Wire on both sides of the ball, defence and attack. I mean, the amount of times that, look, stats don't lie. Warrington Wolves in this game, they had 24 play the balls in Huddersfield's 20, only 14 for Huddersfield in Warrington, and they just couldn't break them down. I mean, Warrington couldn't break an egg. Simple as that. I mean, how do you like your eggs in the morning? Well, you may as well have bacon because you're not getting any eggs from Warrington. They can't break them. Unbelievable stuff, this, from Huddersfield. Having the hurt from last week, going down to the Wigan Warriors in that last minute to that try in by Fireman on the right-hand side. Oh, he took character. We've been talking about Luke Robinson's team all year. Judge Robinson when he gets his charges back, and they're back and they're playing well. Should have won last week against Wigan, have won now against the Warrington Wolves. It's too little too late. They can't possibly get enough points for me to get into the playoff positions. But as we've been saying, these will determine who are going to be in that playoff positions and potentially who's going to win the League Leaders Shield. Such is the rugby league that I now expect to see from Huddersfield Giants from this point in. Warrington at the start pretty much winning the territory battle, and then of course you get the intercept and off they go. Real composure and Tuilala Hale. Lovely little ball to Gagai. Gagai had a great game, didn't he? Gagai on the day. But like I say, it wasn't a classic. We weren't like Huddersfield playing exceptionally well. Neither team did really. But the difference was Huddersfield got the points on the board and Warrington just couldn't do it. It's as simple as that. And that's got to be a concern. Got to be a concern for Sam Burgess. He's got Mark C, he's got George Williams. Arguably one of the best 7-6 combinations on paper, but games aren't won on paper. They're won on the field of play, and they just couldn't get through him. Couldn't get through him time again. George Williams had a shocker in terms of his errors. Again, maybe trying too hard. I don't know. Is he fully fit? I don't know. It just didn't look right from a Warrington perspective, but from a Huddersfield perspective, like I say, to back up on last week and deliver a performance like this, you have to give credit to Luke Robinson and his players. Superb performance this from the Huddersfield Giants. Nothing can be taken away from them. Absolutely outstanding. Some lovely tries. I thought Gaga on the day was really good. Flanagan did what Flanagan does. I thought, to be fair, Frawley had a good game. Frawley didn't, Frawley did what he did really well in the match. Tuilala was was pretty good as well. But again, just very briefly, going back to Warrington, why is King on the wing and Wrench in centre? That was bonkers. And, Geordie Crowther starting to hook. I wish Ben Hartley would get a look in. I really do. They just lacked any pizzazz at the ruck, did Warrington. They really, really did. It just wasn't good enough. They're not going to be finishing in the top 6. I'm going to declare it now on in the sheds. I'm there to be shot at. And like I say, the Warrington Wolves fans are in absolute meltdown online. It's unbelievable. But as for Luke Robinson, well done, sir. I'm really, really happy for Luke Robinson. He's coming for a lot of flack this season. He's had, the cards he's been dealt have been shocking, but he's dealt with it with class, with composure, with dignity. He's now coming out the other side. Delighted for Luke Robinson. Really, really am. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1. There's none from Warrington, quite simply. Albeit, I do think, Jake Fewlis does look a player on the right-hand side for Warrington. Roderick Ty needs to learn to pass to him. I think there's a player there in Jake Fewlis. I thought his brother played well at fullback as well. But anyway, let's now get into the Giants. A lot of great performances in this game for the Giants. 350th career appearance for Tom Burgess against his brother. He did 13 carries for 119 metres. He had a decent game in this one. I've already mentioned Flanagan, who I thought, again, was busy. Not one of his best, but he was busy. Did well, took his kicks well. Some of them were difficult kicks. He did them really, really well. George King, I think it was his 200th Super League appearance and 250th career. He's really bolstered the Giants since he's come back. So, many congratulations has got to go to George King. I thought the halfbacks as well are worthy of note. They just did what they did really, really well. But let's get into the 3-2-1. 1 point I'm going to give to Wolford again. Wolford's defence, 48 tackles. I'll say it again, 48 tackles. Incredible stuff. Only missed one. Outstanding, absolutely outstanding in the middle of the field. When you compare and contrast him, to certainly Sam Powell. I mean, Sam Powell in this game for Warrington, 37 tackles in there, but didn't really do anything in a go-forward perspective. I just felt that Wolford was superb. 2 points are going to go to Gagai. I thought Gagai was superb. 2 tries, 77 metres from 14 carries, 4 tackle busts. He had a good game, did Gagai. But the 3 points I'm going to give to Tane Milne. I think this is his best performance in the Huddersfield Giants shirt. I'm just going to say it. I think the Cowbell Army will be delighted with what this guy dished up on the day. He got his try, he got his assist, 9 tackle busts. He really did, get some really important metres for the Giants in this. 17 carries, 143 metres from him. He will be delighted, and Luke Robinson will be. It took him a while to get going, hasn't it, Milne? It really has, but this was his best performance by far. Puts him up to 4 points. People will argue, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Mathematically, it isn't impossible. Huddersfield can get to the playoffs, but they're not getting there. It's as simple as that. But like I said already, they will have a big say on who does get there. There's no doubt about it. Warrington next week on Saturday go up against Hull FC. That is now, again, another must-win game for Warrington. But, FC are very comfortably above them in the league table. So, you would expect that FC will be well up for it. Of course, they play Salford this weekend. But, yeah, they'll be well up for going to the Warrington Wolves next week without doubt whatsoever. As for the Huddersfield Giants, they go to Perpignan, and they've got a decent record in Perpignan. So again, they'll smell blood at the Dragons, will the Giants, and I'm sure that they will go there and they will equip themselves really, really well. Of course, a win against the Giants would really close them in a little bit. That would put them on 6 points for Huddersfield. The Giants currently on 10, so it would again squeeze that a little bit if they got a win against the Giants. They'll be only 4 points behind the Giants, and maybe they'll finish a bit higher than 11th this season. I wouldn't put it beyond the realms. I actually think Huddersfield will finish higher than 11th this season. Where, I'm not quite sure, but I do think they will finish higher than 11th. Misery if you're a Warrington Wolves fans. The Primrose and Blue have had a shocker of a 2025. Lots of questions to be asked. As for Luke Robinson, well, it's took some time for his players to come back, but now they are back. They're looking a different side. Well done to the Huddersfield Giants, as we now go to Perpignan. The Catalan Dragons 12, Leigh Leopards 26 in a game that was hot, both in the stands, in the stadium, in the air, you name it. And yes, the Leigh Leopards were walking on sunshine as they came away from Perpignan. What a beautiful first try from the Leigh Leopards. It took half an hour, didn't it? It was a really good tussle for the first 30 minutes. Lovely play from the right to the left for the Leigh Leopards. Tessie New, yet again going over for the Leopards. He has been an exceptional addition to the 2025 Super League season. We're loving a bit of Tessie say, aren't we? Outstanding stuff that on Thursday. And of course, they backed it up 4 minutes later, a brilliant finish from Keenan Brand on the right-hand side. Again, some lovely play. Lachlan Lamb, once again, the supplier to Keenan Brand, who finished really well in the corner. Leigh in the box seat there with 2 important scores before, of course, the Catalan Dragons hit back on 38 minutes. Tavita Pangai Jr. Oh, yes, he was absolutely bang at it, ran on it like a bulldozer, a steamroller, baby. In he goes, and suddenly you're thinking, hey, here we go. Where's this Catalan Dragons been all season? Suddenly Leigh Leopards are in a game. And, at half time, 12-6, it really was game on. Which way was it going to go? And then the second half, what a beautiful break from the Catalan Dragons right down the throat of the Leigh Leopards. Sam Tompkins into support. And what a pass from Tompkins to Makinson in at the corner for the Catalan Dragons. Albeit Tommy's son, don't shush a crowd when the game is still on. It was still 12-all. We've seen Jack Wellsby do that a few times, haven't we, for Saints over the years. Anyway, there you go. Good try, though. Beautiful pass from Tompkins. And then, of course, on 66 minutes, that hit from Tavita Pangai Jr. on Gareth O'Brien. It didn't look good. I think the disciplinary committee will have a view on that today. Was he lucky to stay on the field? What was the mitigation? A lot has to be answered there if you are the match review panel. But yes, Tavita Pangai Jr., he certainly didn't miss. And what on earth Catalan were captains challenging that for? I will never, ever know. But there was no doubt about it. At that point, it really is game on. 12 per piece. Was that the moment where it changed? Possibly, because of course Leigh go in with Tavita Pangai Jr. on the bench, and it was too easy really when Tavita Pangai Jr. went off. They kept on the front foot. They gained the momentum, did the Leigh Leopards. A beautiful ball from Edwin Ipape to the big man Offengawi. He's had a great start to the season, hasn't he, for the Leigh Leopards, playing really, really well. And then, of course, Leigh finishing it off. What a sensational run from David Armstrong. I mean, he went past Sam Tompkins like, well, Tompkins was in slow motion. It really was a very, very easy score for David Armstrong, and that pretty much finished any opportunity for the Catalan Dragons to win this game. A much needed win for the Leigh Leopards. That puts them back to third. Next week they go to Henley, third versus fourth. What a game that one is going to be. But all in all, you have to say this was a much improved Catalan Dragons display. They were in this game for long periods. That Tavita Pangai Jr. yellow card pretty much deflated them for me. They never recovered from that. And again, they've got to work on the defence. Far too many missed tackles, 45 in this one. They're not going to win many games with 45 missed tackles, but there was shoots of promise there for the Catalan Dragons. They will come away feeling a lot happier. But like I say, some spectacular tries. The ball from Tompkins, delicious, absolutely delicious. Who needs Granny Smiths when you've got golden delicious like that? Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And of course, the run from Armstrong. Let's give that another mention as well. Wow, just simply wow. Right, let's get into the 3-2-1. Who am I giving it to? Well, I'm going to give 1 point to Gareth O'Brien. Got himself off the canvas. He was instrumental. His kicking game, really important to the Leigh Leopards for me. I was surprised that McNamara didn't start, I have to say that. But Gareth O'Brien came in. He had a really assured game, did Gareth O'Brien. He's a strong lad, isn't he? For such a slight individual. He's a great rugby league player when he's on the field. He does marshal the team round very, very well. It was a good knock from him. I'm going to give him a point. 2 points I'm going to give to Lachlan Lamb. Another 2 assists for him. It looks like he will be the top try assister this season. Had a really solid game for me. Again, taking a lot of the kicking responsibilities in the game as well. Looking the part was Lachlan Lamb. Quite happy with him. I thought he was worthy of 2 points. But the 3 points for me, I'd say Offengawi actually came close there. I thought Offengawi was good. And 3 points I'm going to give to David Armstrong. I thought David Armstrong on the day was the difference. Wonderful try to settle it. Good assist as well from him on the day to Tessie Near. I think that one was 2. 6 tackleables, 13 carries, 190 metres, 2 clean breaks. What more do you want from your fullback? Absolutely sensational performance from David Armstrong. Leigh Leopards get out of Perpignan with 2 vital points. Sorry, Makinson. You can blow as many kisses as you want, mate. You've got to get the job done before you do that. As we now head over to the Salford Community Stadium for the final game of round number 15. The Salford Red Devils 6, Hull FC 38. That's right, FC back up to 6th in Super League. They'll feel better for that, won't they? As for Salford, you couldn't fault their heart and desire. Nothing for me epitomised it more than Joe Shorrocks, who run his blood to water, put on some incredible shots. I thought he was unlucky with the Caesar penalty as well. And as for Caesar, well, he was definitely jabbing with a close fist, even though, of course, he had the shirt. The first try from Cade Cust, of course, against his former team, under the sticks, too easy. It did take them, of course, 8 minutes to get that one. I have to say, where Tom Grant was concerned. Unbelievable. He actually gave that one first time. The amount that he put up to the video ref that shouldn't have gone up to the video ref was quite unbelievable. And at 6-0, you're thinking, okay, Salford, what can they do? Can they hold on? What can happen? But you've got to give them the due. It's a wonderful, wonderful try from Hankinson, on 21 minutes. They did really well there. Really nice interplay with Johnny Vaughan on the left-hand side. Denise Van Houten looking on. She would have been absolutely delighted with a big breakfast, wouldn't she? A great effort, that one, for Salford Red Devils. And it's suddenly 6-all. And you're thinking, yeah, go on then, Salford. What have you got? But then, yet again, you just Hull FC going through the motions, really. Nice play on the left edge. I have to say, I thought the Lytton pass did have a degree of forward to it, but Lewis Martin, once again, going in the corner. Nicely taken try. Him and Barron this season just continue to catch the eye. They're very, very effective young wingers. They're going very well in 2025. A couple of the FC fans getting a bit giddy saying they should be considered for England. I think they're a long way down the pecking order there, albeit they're playing sensational stuff for you, the FC in this. I thought Davy Lytton took his try well. Davy Lytton on the day had a really solid knock. I like Davy Lytton in centre. Of course, he's been missing for so long, hasn't he? We've been wondering where's he been? A lot of injuries. Then he came back from injury, weren't getting a game. But all of a sudden, Davy Lytton seems to be really cementing himself now in that centre spot. He had a really fine game on the day. Like I say, if you're Salford, there's lots to take from it, lots of heart, lots of desire. But in the second half, they just got blown away, didn't they? They really, really did. I thought Essa took his try well. A lot of FC fans wanting to keep Sam Essa beyond 2025. Something tells me that the Wigan Warriors will be having him back. He looks a big unit. He's played some good, solid minutes for the Hull FC, and he really does have an impact. Zach Hardacre, of course, going over on the day as well. He's played very well in second row, been called upon to play second row, not his usual position, and he's been steady away as Zach Hardacre, I have to say. All FC fans can't get too happy about this. They go into a massive game now against the Warrington Wolves at Halliwell Jones Stadium this Saturday. That's a massive game for both teams. If Hull FC win that, it's fair to say they probably leave Warrington Wolves very firmly in the rear view mirror for the rest of the season. If Warrington win it, of course, they then go within 3 points of FC, and who knows, things could get interesting come the back end of the season. But like I say, professional win this for FC, and big congratulations to the directors and everybody at FC who put on the free coaches to get a really good travelling support down to Salford. They need that level of support, so a big well done to all the FC hierarchy you put on those coaches. I heard 20, maybe 30 coaches free of charge from FC to Salford at the weekend. That's a great effort. Well done, Hull FC. Let's get into the 3-2-1. 1 point I've got to give to Zach Hardacre. Out of position. Brilliant effort from him. A try on the day. Great in defence. 30 tackles. Only missed one in the game. It'd be wrong of me as well not to mention Harry Barron's final try. Oh, he took that well. That took composure. That took skill. 2 points we're going to give to Big Herman. SASA back to his best in this one. 25 tackles in D. 11 tackleables from the Big Hermanator. 20 carries. 134 metres. Nobody ran for more metres on the field of play than Big Herman SASA. I'll say that again. Herman SASA, top meter maker on the day. That's how many metres he got. Absolutely awesome. And 3 points I'm going to give to that man that I mentioned already, Davy Lytton. A great try from him, a good assist. He was in and around it all the way through the game. He had 9 tackleables, 2 clean breaks, 13 carries, 93 metres. He had a real solid knock, did Davy Lytton. Really loving his work. That's round number 15. Great news if you're an FC fan. You're back in the top 6. We've got some belting games on the way in round number 16. If you're members, don't forget, later on today, Round Unpack for your viewing pleasure. If you're not a member, maybe you want to see that great show that we put on every Monday for our members. Super League Raw Weekly is at 7 o'clock this Tuesday, not 8, 7 o'clock for Super League Raw Weekly on Tuesday night. Make sure you catch that. And of course, we will let you know what's coming for the rest of the week on Weekly. From us to you, that's another edition of In the Sheds, done and dusted. The Betfred Super League just keeps getting bigger and better. Some wonderful entertainment this week. We'll be back for more next week. Bye for now.